This is my first trip to India.
Very first trip to India.
It is my first visit.
It is our first trip here.
We had to explore the real India.
It was very packed. It was a very ambitious itinerary.
And two very different experiences.
I was expecting to see a huge country with lots of people.
Nature, animals.
Variety of palaces and the tigers.
Something very extraordinary, something I have not seen before.
So I was expecting to see a lot of really new stuff, which I did.
The lodge is in a little remote area. If you remember, during our drive we went through an area where there were so many other hotels and lodges. That was the other side of the park. There's about 50 lodges on that side. We have about 10 on our side, so we have a bigger advantage of being a little more quiet in the park. If the electricity goes, it takes a minute or 2 minutes to turn it on. So it's always good to have a torch handy if you guys have one. There is usually at 6:30 every evening there's a flying squirrel that comes through. It's just like something that is done for the last 5-7 years. It changes with the sunset times usually. So if you're here at 6:30, we will show it to you. It flies just about here.
Look in the second row. Can you see it going up? Okay, there.
Nice, big. It can glide up to 100 meters. Yeah, it's moving now.
This is going to fly.
Oh, wow.
Well, so much for that.
I don't know where you are.
This is Indraveet. He's our principal naturalist guide while we're in the national parks in India. And he guides all over different national parks, but specializes also here in Kanha and Bandhavgarh. And this is Vinoid. He is from the local community. And as you know, Wildland sponsors a variety of conservation and community development projects around the world. And here in India, we sponsored Vinoid thanks to contributions from you from this trip and previous Wildland travelers here to participate in a guide training program. And as a result, he's now advanced. He actually owns his own vehicle and now guides for wildland travelers and other visitors that come here, thanks to the sponsorship of an excellent guide training program organized here in India. So it's really great to have two levels of guides, particularly, especially, helping support the local community to support tiger conservation through guide training. All right, off to the tigers. Tigers! Tigers! Let's go.
Go for it.
Go Tigers!
The parks were just beautiful. It was just beautiful to ride around them, particularly early in the morning with the sun coming up and kind of the mist around the fields. It was just a very special experience.
All the animals, were just coming to life, and we could spend almost 4 or 5 hours with them.
I love the jungle. I love the sound of the jungle and the smell of it. Okay, we're looking now. They turned away.
The birds are beautiful. I've never seen birds like these, particularly the Indian roller.
Every time I see one, it's just an amazing experience because they're just so beautiful when they fly and the sunlight catches that blue color. It's wonderful.
Actually, I love seeing the owls. So for some reason, getting up close to the owls and seeing them, I'm kind of fascinated by owls, and so I really enjoyed seeing those.
The lesser adjutant stork I thought was a great sighting. I really enjoyed that.
Yes, we actually saw a sloth bear that crossed the street and crossed the road and then stood up and scratched its back on the bark of the tree and walked off, and the Jeep went by and just kind of looked at us for a little while and then took off. So that I later on heard it was a very rare sighting, so we were very lucky.
You know, monkeys in India are everywhere, but still in the jungle, monkeys behave naturally. So you get to see how they really live.
Even though the spotted deer, probably the most common thing we saw, there wasn't a time that I saw them that I didn't enjoy seeing them.
And it's awesome to see them all in their own natural environment. So it was a very amazing, precious experience.
I think when you are in the jungle and you prepare yourself for meeting with nature and meeting with the animals, staying at a place which is sort of rustical. It's part of the way you're supposed to travel when you come to see nature and to see the animals.
The jungle lodges were very, very nice.
The setting, the location of the lodges is second to none. They're beautiful locations, beautiful facilities, wonderful food.
Do you feel that you are really part of the nature when you stay in these lodges?
We would love to see tigers and tigers and tigers, but we were hoping to see at least one.
Well, we prayed we'd see tigers every day.
The emotions and the adrenaline when you travel and you're searching for the tiger and you're listening to the signals and you're listening to the voices of the animals.
We try to hear the alarm call, because alarm call is another main parameter to tell us about any predators around in that area. And more important is when alarms is transferring from one prey species to another prey species, that we get more confidence about that something is a big prey is moving.
And then all of a sudden you're in the middle of the road and here's this guy.
It was very exciting because it was coming right at us and it wasn't going to stop. So we had to keep backing up. She was magnificent. Beautiful, beautiful.
It was awesome. I just saw my first tiger and she was really close and she was coming right at us. So it was an awesome experience. Just magical, amazing.
I got goosebumps on my arms. It was just amazing to see those big cats in the wild. They're such magnificent animals.
My heart was pounding. It's like out of my chest, and it stayed that way for quite a while. It's so exciting, and you can tell that everybody is anxious about the moment.
And to see her looking right at us, walking towards us, and how graceful she was, and she didn't even care that we were there.
You feel like You're a guest, and he's the master.
We didn't expect her to stay on the road, but she did. And so she came walking toward us ever so slowly, and we kept backing up, and I was thinking, well, how much more can we back up?
And when it started walking, you could see that it was actually laying in some mud, discolored, but on its face it had amazing coloring. It actually reminded me of domestic cats at home, just a lot larger.
I think we really got a wonderful idea of, how magnificent these animals are, and the fact that they really should be protected.
India just assaults all of your senses. Sight, sound, taste, hearing, all of them.
Just the different people, different culture, different tradition.
It's so colorful. The colors are what impress me the most.
There was a fort on top of the hill, and in coming up to it, the walls go straight up. When you're walking through the fort and the palace grounds, you'll see all these intricate carvings.
The workmanship in the palaces was extraordinary in terms of the inlays, the tiling. It was really very, very lovely.
The big and the small aspect of these forts and palaces, all of it was very well thought through and designed, and you could tell that they took a lot of effort and years and years and years of building these places. It's quite spectacular.
It was interesting to see how the Rajas and Maharajas used to live. I was surprised to learn that this is how they still live, some of them. And staying at a hotel right next to the palace was also an experience in itself.
You felt like you were living like I guess in my case, like a Rani, right, rather than a Raja.
My favorite was the Samod Palace. It was just a beautiful location in the valley, way out of the cities, away from people and restaurants. The food was great. The building itself is gorgeous, beautifully laid out, very comfortable.
I can't describe it, just be able to stay in the palace. Like last night, we had dinner right by the lake and right by a palace, and it's just, I think it's a very, it's an experience not all tourists get to have, and I'm glad we had the experience.
My enthusiasm has been about the people. They have big smiles, they have a shake really fast, and they're always engaging us. We have really enjoyed the people. I'm going to go back home and I'm going to make a book, and I'm going to show all these beautiful women and these men. That's what I'm taking home from India, my memories. It's the people.
The people are genuine and happy and carefree.
I've never met such nice people. I just think that I'm going to start crying if I talk about it, but I just think the Indian people are some of the nicest people I've ever met.
I had one woman tell me, grab my hand and say, "I'm so glad you're here visiting my country." Like that. It was just so special.
hustle and the bustle of the cities are, they're just alive with people all the time.
Total environment between the traffic, the bulls, the goats in the street, the motorcycles, the buses, the horn blowing, of course, but the entire combination is something I'll never forget. It was fascinating to me.
You realize there's kind of a rough choreography to it. It all works beautifully, and the horns are a necessary part of that.
I love shopping, period. And I love shopping in India because this is where you can negotiate is probably the wrong word. I would say this is how you meet people, you start talking. So it's not about reducing the price really. It's about, it's a process, and it's got to be fun for both sides. And we've experienced it in other countries like Turkey and Egypt, and I think in India as well. You know, you start talking with people, and through this conversation you find out where they come from, how many kids they have, and eventually you agree on the price somewhere halfway.
If I say 5 for him, is it okay?
Yes, I need to tell me. It's fun. She's very good. It's very pretty. Yeah.
We often organize things like this for our clients, but in this case it was a little over the top. We were staying at the Samod Palace. I had arranged for a year in advance with my friends in India because I know you can do anything in India.
All of this was a total surprise to me, so it was really spectacular.
Hello, I'm having a rum and coke. Happy Valentine's Day.
I need to take off my glasses. No, glasses with a bindi don't go very well.
Yeah. The palace was all lit up. I had a nice kurta on, and we took the group out. We had to actually get in jeeps right there from the palace steps out to the desert, and when we got to the desert, a band was playing.
The camel rides were totally unexpected.
Initially, I knew something was going, there was a surprise, there was something that was going to happen, but the level at which it happened at was really emotionally joyful. I really am happy.
Things you read about and see in movies, but you never thought you'd experience it for yourself. It was terrific. It was a wonderful time.
It was a gala event that only you could have in spectacular India.
Normally when I travel I lose weight, but not in India. We were fed very well, especially in the homes of the people we visited. The hospitality of the families was wonderful. It was unexpected, and the food was marvelous. Nothing like I've ever had in any restaurant anywhere.
To get to talk to the people in them and to see them cooking and to see their homes and things like that. So that was very, very nice.
Being there, being with them, and them allowing us to be a part of their life for that day really showed the intricacies of their life and what they're capable of.
Hello.
How old are you?
10.
10? 9. To the Wild Adventures.
What I'm telling them, that you are saying that this is the best food you ever had in India.
Yes.
The food has been really, really good.
And I know I didn't lose any weight. In fact, I might have put on a few pounds or kilograms.
I came with 2 sizes of pants, a small and a not small. I put the not small on.
I read a little bit about Varanasi before I came on this trip, so I was prepared for something very unusual, but I certainly was not prepared for what I saw. It was more, it was overwhelming. You know, it's different. It's a landmark in itself.
हरि मंदिर तहाँ विभिन्न बनावा रामायुध अंकित गृह नव तुलसी का वृंद तहाँ देखी हरत कपिराय.
Going on the streets and watching the vendors and the salespeople and the wildlife in the streets.
It's a bit rough sometimes if you don't know what you're doing. It's difficult, you know, to walk, even to ride in a rickshaw, but it was the fun experience.
The sunrise on the Ganges, to see the humanity and the various aspects, the washing of clothes and the washing of people, and the funeral pyres.
Some of the things at first are shocking, but then you see that this is actually natural for the people that come, they pray, they swim in the river. You know, coming from where we are, you know, especially for Western tourists, you know, they would look at the river and they'd be like, who could swim in this river? It's so dirty. But then you see people doing it and it comes out so natural that you start to appreciate this is the way things are, and people really truly believe. And I think you get sort of inspired by that.
Since I was 6 years old, I had to see the Taj Mahal. And I had a tear that actually just ran down, and I thought, this is crazy. And I looked down there, and a whole pile of people were looking the same way.
All your life, you've heard of the Taj Mahal, you've seen photos of the Taj Mahal, but to actually be there and see it, tears welled up in my eyes. It was that beautiful.
Maybe it is the fact that it was built to someone whom the person really loved and someone who was lost, and this must be reflected in it's not just a building, it's more. There's more to it. It's a symbol of love, and it's a beautiful architecture.
19 days is a fairly long trip, but could have been 26 as far as I was concerned. It would have been fun.
We've been in many places around the world, but nothing like India.
So I had intended to make a book of India with tigers and the Taj Mahal, but my book's going to be of the people.
I wish we had had a day longer in each of the places we stopped, because the sights to see and the experience is not to be matched anywhere in the world, I really believe.